Nibe I was about 3 years old. I remember this big guy, I learned later was my dad, picked us up in an old beat-up pickup truck from my grandmother's house because my mom was taken to prison and Grandma didn't want us. Dad lived with his mother and family. My brother was a year older than me and was born with a brain deficiency. 8 years later, he was diagnosed with being deaf. It was a really confusing time because we felt different than the rest of the family. They were fair-skinned and we were brown. They acted white even though they were part Indian. Back then, it was better to assimilate into a dominant society. Later on, living with my mother, I remembered she taught me to be proud to be Indian. Being Indian became important to me, and it kept me focused on being who I am. Mom spent 2 years in prison, and I spent summers with her after she was released. I was so proud to have a mom, but that didn't last long. My dad's brother abused me until I was about 11 years old. Grandma didn't believe me, and I was sent to live with my mom. She was abusive to Dan, my sisters, Pumpkin and Bird, and to me when she was drinking. My first experience with alcohol was when I was 16 with school friends in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I got drunk and I got sick. 2 years later, I got married. A year and a half later, I had my first child, Russ. Then I had Kristen and Dawn. My husband was an alcoholic and we ended up divorcing. I used alcohol to help me get through that time and drank heavily for 10 years. 1984, it finally got too much and I stopped. Mom came to live with me because my stepdad was sick. At the same time, I had been getting closer to my dad and wanted to please him, so I started going to church. Living with my mom was traumatic, and I was brewing with hatred and crying out one early morning. All of a sudden, these bright lights came at me. I got down on my knees and I prayed for help. I heard a voice. The voice said, "I'll take care of the kids, but you follow me." I felt such peace in that room. I fell back to sleep. And the next day, a friend called and invited me to go to a party. And my response was, no, I've got something I need to do. And I put the phone down and realized there was a whole different part of me. Something had changed drastically. I looked into the mirror and I asked, is that really me? I had a deeper love for my children, my dad, and I got closer and he apologized to me for all the things that me and my brother had suffered in his household. And at that time, I actually realized and told my mom, I love you. Even if you don't love me, I love you, and I ask God to take care of you. That changed her. My pop got sick with prostate cancer, and I lost it. I got depressed and ended up going to Cornerstone St. Mary's Hospital in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Counselors started helping me through the sexual abuse. I got angry at my psychiatrist and I told him, what difference does it make if I find out all these different things that happened as a child? What difference is it going to make? It's not going to change anything, and that's just how I felt too, and I told him it. But as I worked with him, I got through it. And it did make a difference. It helped so much in my recovery. And I begun to feel whole again, like I was my own person. It did help. I was able to release some of the pain by working through it. My dad was dying and I thought it was my punishment, that God was punishing me and he was angry with me for the way I lived my life. But I started drinking again. And 6 months before he died, I was in a room crying when I heard a voice again, "You don't believe me." And I sat up and I wondered, who is that? And all of a sudden the voice came again and said, "You didn't believe I loved you." And I repented right then. And I dropped the booze and in 22 years I haven't drank. I've been involved with my culture, my tradition since 1970. In 1996, I started working for Michigan Indian Employment and Training Services. And I got a job in the 90s, and when I got that job, I met Martha Case. And with her gentle spirit, she helped me press forward and chose peace rather than the holding on to the anger. She taught me about culture and that there was inner strength in all of us. I've been working for my own tribe since 2000, and I have also taken care of my brother Dan. My spiritual life and my ability to learn more about my tribe's traditions is a gift. A medicine man told me once that seeing the lights around someone is a spiritual gift. I've learned to look within, and I chose to live my life in a positive way. Ananque nadishnikos, makwa dodam, chimigwach.
Ni be gizake go Gimi gwechawe ni mi go Gijawen ni mi go Ni be gizake go Gimi gwechawe ni mi go Gijawen ni mi go Ni be gizake go Gimi gwechawe